They all really should have been like Natalie. She said, "No, we got duped. The
Yeah.
evidence was right in front of us, and
Yeah.
we didn't take it." Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about the Traitors. We are discussing the Traitors finale and the Traitors reunion. Okay, season 4. I am Victoria. I am one of your hosts, and I'm a psychologist.
I'm Kamaria. I am an attorney and a pop culture writer. Before we get into this episode recapping the Traitors finale and the Traitors reunion, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so that you can always be notified when we publish episodes. Cause this one, it's been difficult
What
to
a time.
record. I don't have anything to say about these people. I just don't.
What a time. Yeah, I think my overall opinion leaving this finale was Maura, the game was in your hands. The game was in your hands. If it was not for Maura, when it was time at Natalie's banishment, they would have gotten further. If it was not for Maura, after Tara comes to you twice and says, "Hey, Eric, Rob," we would have gotten further. If it was not for Maura, when they threw them pebbles in, and Tara said, "Trust me," we would have gotten further. Maura had the game, the last bit of the game, the last couple days in her hand. You know what I'm saying? And I got to go all the way back to the Natalie banishment, because if it was not for Maura, Johnny and Tara would have probably also voted for Rob in that banishment. But because they could not get Maura on board, because not Rob.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why it's fitting that she was the person at the end who got the most egg on their face, because you had so many opportunities where you were the single vote that decided what happened. So it is what it is. In the reunion, she kept calling herself dumb. I was like, "Aw," I didn't feel bad for her, but I was just like, you ain't gotta say all that, girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a game at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's got played.
Yeah, you got played. Because I'm a big believer in self-talk. Don't talk to yourself like that.
Yeah, same.
But it's like, no, not but. Not with that tone.
But it wasn't stupid. Now let me stop.
But yeah, it was a lot. And these faithful, whoever said it in the reunion that the faithfuls did not deserve the money, they didn't. I didn't want Rob to get it either, but at a certain point, it was like, this is the only salvageable thing out of this, is that they all lose and Rob just wins. But it was just bitter. It wasn't even sweet. It just was bitter. Just bitter.
And really, it's really just because the way he went about the whole Candace and Lisa thing, I just felt that was really sneaky. And even in the reunion, it's like there's nothing you can say to justify doing this. And I felt like he was throwing rocks and trying to hide his hand. And I was with Candace. Just own your game. You wanted to get to the end by yourself.
Because you would have not done this Eric shit if you didn't. Because you had every opportunity to get. You sometimes you want to keep a promise to Maura, who you're about to backstab right after you keep your quote unquote promise. It's all for you, baby. Stop acting like it wasn't. It was for you. Just own your game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would have way more respect for him after this reunion if he had did that. Just like Cerie said, it's a game. I was a traitor. We all asked, for the most part, most people asked to be a traitor, but I was selected, and so I dealt with the cards that I was handed. And that's just it, right? You got to respect it. But when you are, well, I couldn't do this, I didn't do this, and then he's like, well, I didn't trust you guys. It's like, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you were out for self and self only. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious when Warren was like, it's going to be really hard for you to get a girlfriend because you are an excellent liar.
I was like,
but when she said that, it just made me think about the psychology of it all, and how we talked about this a little bit in our Love is Blind recap. If you're watching Love is Blind, go check that out. But when somebody is so calm, and I think it was it Eric, the one with the hair? not Eric,
Mark.
the dancer, Mark. He was
Mhm.
like, he was just so calm the entire time. Like, he was never flustered, da 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 da. That disarms you. It disarms you from
Yeah.
anything you can think goes against whatever this presentation is, on top of him being this white male who everybody is saying looks good. So there's already the halo effect, right? And so when you stack all these chips, it's really hard to put somebody in a villain or traitor or aggressor or murderer, anything other than this white angel in front of me, just straight up, it is like that's just how society goes. That's the
Mhm.
psychology of the brain and what you see in front of you.
Mhm.
And he did it. He played to that. He
Mhm.
played to that. He remained calm the entire time, and every single time his name got brought up, everyone was disarmed. So they got what they got.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I didn't like how these faithfuls seem to still be like, oh yes, Rob, 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 Rob. Like they all were still in it. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all not
Yeah,
my
when they
type of
all really should have been
people.
like Natalie when what she said, no, we got duped. The
Yeah,
evidence was right in front of us and
yeah,
we didn't take it. She said, baby, I don't
yeah,
come for second, third, I come to
yeah,
win. And y'all wasn't coming to win. Y'all was not coming to
yeah,
win because if y'all
yeah.
was, y'all would be sitting at this reunion talking about every single mistake
Mhm.
that y'all made when we had the evidence right in front of us and didn't use it to our benefit.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Eric. Let's talk about Eric a little bit. Cause I if I ever was recruited as a traitor playing traitors playing the game, you have to recognize that you got to look at the history. Like that, I said this before about just even the show in general. But when I tell you somebody was like they're not looking at the history of within the game, you got to look at the history of what has happened before you got into the turret. Like this man is the last man standing for a reason. You really think he taking you to the end when you
and
did
he
what, a
said,
quarter of the work? You just came in here on the
yeah.
last end. No, he
Yeah.
kept him around because he did need him for that, so that he could have the numbers, because he knew he was going to have a vote. Like, he needed three. He needed you, Eric, Maura, and himself to be able to run the table. But as soon as he didn't need you, and I mean as soon as, okay, as soon as, because that Tara vote, he needed you. But as soon as he didn't need you, which was the Maura vote, the Maura, him, and Eric vote, you was gone. You was gone because that was unnecessary. Because he could have said to Maura right there, or he could have banished Maura. Like, he could have just done that. He could have been like, Maura,
Mm-hmm.
like, she could let her do her rock. She was going to banish again. She was going to do it. And he could have written her name down. Because what's the difference? Like, you're going to break her heart there by writing her name down and voting her out, or you're going to break her heart when you did break her heart. Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
we talking about here? It's about the money. The difference is $100,000, $110,000. That's the difference between those decisions. And so don't act like you weren't about to do that. You were all the time. So as soon as he didn't need Eric, the Eric was gone.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, he said that he had the impression that Candace and Lisa were mean to him. And so he ran with that. But again, it's like you're not looking at the evidence, right?
yeah.
You're not looking at the evidence. You are seeing these two women who have been on these different reality TV shows, who have likely been painted as more aggressive or outspoken people. And you see this gentle giant and Rob, and oh so sweet, sweet man that you're not even trying to calculate the possibility when he wrote their name down both times,
Mm-hmm.
knowing he was a traitor, and then recruited you. Of all people, he recruited you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
It was
It's,
it was an oversight for sure, to say the least.
yeah, he was like, I'm just hurt by the two. Like, if I was him. I mean, at that point, it didn't even matter, but he was like, I'm just hurt by the both of you. I was just like, Rob, 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 I'm very hurt by you. I just would have directed all of it to Rob and let Maura get breadcrumbed the information that
If
she
she
was
would have
about to
gotten
be
it.
said. But it wouldn't have mattered at that point. At that point, once he voted him out, he had won the game because there's no more
Hmm.
voting. It's two people at the end, and one of them was a traitor. So it was just no saving her at that point. That was her fatal mistake. But
Yeah.
maybe if I was Tara, I would be like, maybe I was the one who put the battery in her back to think it was Eric, and that's the thing that got her technically out of the game. Because I wonder if she never thought it was Eric, would Rob have turned on Eric without Maura believing Eric was a traitor? You know what I mean? Like, would he have put that in her ear? Said, like, you know what? I know, like, it's Tara here too, you know, it's the four of us, but I think we should banish twice. Like, if she had never thought of it, you know? But anyway, if I was Tara, I would be thinking, like, I put the battery in her back, and that battery caused her to go to her own demise, you know, voting out Eric. Because at that point, she had truly lost. I mean, she lost once Tara, because Eric was a traitor. She lost.
Yeah, no, Tara lost when at that Natalie
Not Tara.
vote.
I'm talking about Maura.
Yeah. I mean, they all lost at that Natalie vote. Quite honestly, like for real, because
I mean, they
it
didn't
made
lose
Tara
at the Natalie vote. They lost at the Johnny vote. That's when they lost, because there was no way that they could do it like after that, because they could do it was Johnny, Tara, what's her name, Maura, and that was 3. And when they voted
but
out
Maura
Johnny,
was so up Rob's ass. There was no way they needed somebody else. Natalie would have been the person to help take, even if they didn't get Rob at that vote. Let's say they went and got what's his name, Mark or somebody else. Like, they needed Natalie, and they messed up not having Natalie there. Because if Natalie was still there and they murdered her, that would have pointed back to Rob. So he what, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they lost at that Natalie vote, especially when Tara came in so hot and heavy about thinking it was Rob and not following through with that. That was the demise of everybody left in the game. Because,
no, for sure. But I'm saying, like, technically they could have still put it together on the Johnny vote, but they didn't.
But that would have been trusting that Maura would have had some type of change of heart, and she couldn't. And I think Tara at that point, she had lost credibility when she went so hard for Rob behind the scenes, and then switched, voted for Natalie, and now you're going so hard behind the scenes for Eric. It's like, girl, she should have had like some consistent follow through. And so I think that just immediately squashed her, that Natalie roundtable. And then Johnny right along with her, even though Johnny said, I think it's Rob and Eric. It's like, y'all lose credibility when you don't keep your word. Like, consistency does matter to a point in this game. And them going back and forth and thinking like, oh, we can get Eric first and then Robert. It's like, no, girl, you got to go for it when you have the opportunity. And I think part of what was missing here is not understanding numbers and like seeing the end with the numbers, which I think is something that Rob, to his credit, he did have. Like, that was very clear. Because he said, no, we need to get Johnny first, so Johnny and Tara aren't a voting block. Then we need to get Tara so that she can't be there to try and talk against me potentially, right? And then I still need Maura there so that she knows to go after Eric. Like, he knew that entire follow through. And so, to his credit, I think that was an excellent job on his point. I just didn't like, again, how he did Candace and Lisa. I felt it was unnecessary. I think he could have did that later on in the game if that was his plan. And then, of course, sticking to this was my game. But yeah.
Yeah, I liked Candace's answer in the Traitors reunion about whether he played a good game or whether it was luck. And she was like, it's a bit of both, right? Because I think that's factual, that it's the luck of having this, you know, all this halo effect and everyone just kind of, oh, he sold this. And it's also the skill of him being calm, of him, as you say, strategically kind of thinking through the votes and things like that. So I think it's a bit of both. I think that is such with life, you know, it's a bit of both. But when you were talking about like him getting, if he just like not gone after Lisa and Candace, like, I feel like to play the game that he's trying to play and win, I don't think he wanted to win with them. I think he had to do what he had to do, right? However, what I don't like about it all is just that I was rooting for Candace, you know what I'm saying? And so it felt like he undercut her in a very like sneaky, underhanded, you know, I don't know, just unfair way. because it felt like she was trusting that they all were together, and it just became like, yeah, no, I'm not. So I didn't like that piece about his gameplay.
Yeah.
That he just it's just like, oh, you're a snake. Ugh,
Yeah.
just like them
Agreed.
tattoos on your arm. You're a
Yeah.
snake.
Agreed. Agreed,
But
because
yeah.
like they talked about in the reunion, had Candace not been so faithful to the traitors, she would have
Yes.
kept around more of the people who would have rode for her.
Yeah.
That mainly being Monet Exchange. And
Mhm.
so I felt like Rob, he saw that it was like, oh, she's not gonna come for me, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get her before she gets me, and I'm gonna make it known that it's her fault if she gets out. He just everything he did was about a man that you don't want to date. Okay, like just point blank, period. But flip that thing right back on her. No, you got yourself out. Whoa, brother. Whoa,
Yeah.
brother. Right? Like you weren't
Yeah.
leading
'Cause
charges and adding to conversations with
right.
the knowledge that you are a traitor and so are they. It's one thing
Yeah.
when there's theories floating around, but when you add to the theory,
Yeah.
that now makes you manipulative and a snake.
Yeah,
Like,
and not only saying, like, I'm glad you pointed that out, him putting that back on her, because it's not only him acting like, oh, her at the banishment is what got herself out. It's like, no, you started to back her into a corner, and then as she starts to react, then you're like, look, at it's your reaction. No, it's like, no, you back me into a corner, so you're part of this. You're part of why I'm reacting this way. And so take ownership of that. Like, it's not just me and how I could have just kept going. It's like, no, you back me into a corner. But either way, you have any other thoughts on the reunion or the Traitors
um,
finale?
yeah, I did want to bring up Mike's behavior. Michael was being very
Oh
Michael. It was
yes.
so unacceptable. I don't know why they even let him have any words beyond that first little spat he had with Candace. And he talking about some when he was addressing the Colton situation. He said, I talk shit or I talk mess, but I don't like to be disrespectful. And it's like, but you're being disrespectful. Like putting your hands up, saying zip it or hope whatever he was saying, cut
Yeah.
it,
Clip.
is
Yeah.
disrespectful. Talking over people, especially women, is disrespectful. Like, what don't you see about the disrespect in there? That's not like being
Yeah.
loud is not the baseline of just talking trash
Hmm. Hmm.
at all. And I feel like he's like he's mixing the two. He's not
Hmm.
seeing where the line is of now you're being disrespectful. And I don't even know why he got such a long segment. It was more other stuff
Yeah.
that we wanted to hear, or I would have rather
Yeah.
heard more about. Than that. The other thing I was thinking about was Colton talking about saying he never knew his past would come back around to catch up with him. Baby, your past will always catch up with you. That's why you have to be most definitely aware and prudent about how you treat others. And why would you not think in a game where you are playing very aggressively and also using terms like hostage would a past where you are accused of allegedly stalking women would not come up? Why would it not come up, babes?
Mhm.
Talking about you had such a hard time victimizing yourself through this experience. Like, let's not. Let's not, Colton. Let's not. I actually think it would have been a great time to say I have had some very problematic behaviors in my past, and I hate that. After dealing with that and trying to put that behind me, that is something that comes up. But I understand that things are often dug up when you're on reality TV. Maybe even I don't know if I was necessarily ready to face the public once again because of the hard time that I had with the past in my behaviors. So much he could have said versus please don't bully me. Like, please, sir,
He said
please.
that?
He didn't say that, but that was the tone of his voice.
Oh,
It
'cause
was
I was like, I didn't hear
like,
that.
yeah,
No,
that
I
was the
got
tone of his
you.
voice. But yeah, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
just rolling my eyes.
Yeah, like, I don't expect, like, a lot from Colton. He gives that he's gonna stay on the floor, and he's not gonna rise to any
Hmm.
occasion, so, it was not surprising. The Jam Jam being called a pick me. That was funny by Rob
That was
C. Like,
hilarious. That
because he
was
was,
hilarious.
and he was like, "I judging
Yes.
from how you all are reacting, like I didn't like the reaction, but he did come back with a comeback. He was like, you were by yourself, and I was like interacting, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, pick me,
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. I was like, you could tell
yeah,
Rob, he got the podcast with all the youngins because that's,
yeah, yeah."
our language. He in
He
the universe of talking about these TV shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Portia had a lot of moments. She was
Yeah.
just like chit 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 chat.
She came to make it
She,
a housewives reunion, okay?
yeah. She was like, y'all, this is what y'all missed out on all. So I'm gonna speak this whole reunion because y'all cut me out of basically the whole show.
Basically.
Yeah, because for a night one boot, she had a lot to say, a lot to say. As she should, because that wasn't her fault.
I did also. I thought it was interesting that like Rob was dodging this whole like, did we flirt, did we not flirt question. I wasn't sure if that was like, I don't kiss and tell. I'm gonna let the lady lead, whatever she's okay with, discussing or what. I didn't know what that was about. I just thought it was very odd, especially when you're in a relationship, and then two, you talking about getting this woman a Birkin, a $10,000 bag. It was just, I don't know. I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do with all of that
All that.
information. It
Yeah,
left me feeling very confused.
there was one I could have sworn my eyes saw that at the end they were like, we're gonna make it to the end together when they were in the kitchen or the little whatever that room is. I think it's a kitchen, but and they walked out into the hallway. They were holding hands. That's what I thought I saw. I thought I saw a holding of hands.
Yeah, they were holding hands.
And then they like let go of the hands or whatever. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care though. But she came back with them bangs. I forgot to talk about that. I'm like, I need you to not with the little up here bangs, like
Yeah.
not with the up here bangs, like the bangs, what they call them. It was the
Yeah, I think
bangs.
that's a thing, having the little things sometimes. I
They
think
need to unthing that because
it's a
that is
purposeful
not.
style choice.
I know,
Uh,
but no.
yeah, I get
You know
you.
what I'm
I'm not saying
saying?
I'm
It's
for it. I
giving,
do
what's
hear
the
you.
Bridgerton, like the little, no,
Yeah.
no, stop it. A bang, like, bangs, I mean, I ain't never had a bang in my life, but I need a bang to not be shorter than like up here. And that's
Your
for
eyebrows.
like a 10-year-old, you know what I mean? A 10-year-olds can have them right here, right? As an adult, I think your bangs need to like pick, they need to fall to the right, to the left, do a little wispy. Like, this
Yeah.
is the bang of a 2-year-old in London whose mother is the queen. I don't, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I
Like,
mean, she from Europe. She from somewhere in Europe.
I
So that's what
guess.
they
Yeah,
do,
I
child. That's what they
guess.
do.
I guess that's what they do.
Um, but yeah, I think that is all my thoughts for this Traitor season 4 finale and reunion. Anything for you?
Nope. I'm ready
No.
to watch this torture again for season 5.
I know, and
Because
they're gonna
Traitors
have
is a
regular
really good
degular
game.
folks.
Yeah, you gonna apply, Victoria?
No, I didn't apply. I should apply, but I didn't apply.
Yeah,
Maybe the next round I'll apply.
it's such
It's
a
now that I know it's a 3-week game. I'm like, okay, that's nice, nice in and out.
Yeah. But the biggest issue for me with Traitors is that like it's such an impossible game to win, to be honest. We talk shit about them and the faithfuls, but I do think it's an impossible game for a faithful to win and to sniff out. Like, not impossible, but just you're going to get snipered out much more
Well,
easily than you
enforce. I
will
mean, I guess
be.
it's been a 50-50 thing where two traders have won, and then they've gotten to the end with just faithfuls twice.
Yeah, that's here, but there's like gazillion other of these episodes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's UK, Australia, New Zealand, and it's all over the map. But I think it's a Traitors game to win or lose. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. And then oftentimes the recruit traders be coming in with the alley swap at the end. They get that. So I think it's hard for faithfuls to win. I just do. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
Alrighty, well, that is a wrap on Traitor season 4. We are also covering Survivor season 50 right now, Love is Blind, Bridgerton, We also discovered the America's Next Top Model documentary. So check those out.
Paradise.
Oh, and also Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
So check those out. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we will catch you for the next season.
All
Bye.
right, bye.